at the street adjacent to the school, whether it's elementary school, or whether it's a junior high or high school. And I think so those should have high priority. But also, you the voters gonna be the broker in this deal. I'm really probably gonna tell you don't vote for this, because right now the board basically gonna do what they want to do, because there's nothing in writing saying that what street actually gonna get done, other than this book right here. And this book right here is mostly targeted toward the north side of town. And that's the reason why I would say for the resident not to vote for this. It's not really a bad thing, it's just because how the money planned on being spent. Because you really don't know how it's gonna be spent. Like I said, you got arterial and collector street bad throughout the city. You got drainage issue bad throughout the city. And I understand what you're trying to do on the north side of town, but you also got to understand Dollar Tree, they already here, and you got Copeland, they already here, but the streets is in bad shape throughout the town. So, and that would be my order against and letting you the voter do not pass this until the board come up and say, hey, how you actually gonna spend this money and where you gonna spend this money, because really you don't have that among us. I have no more than this plan here, and this plan, like I stated before, it only doing 2 streets in Ward 2 that if the board decide to allocate the money spent in Ward 2, and that's Island Street and Graham Street. But to me, I think Ferguson Street is just as bad. You got Division, you got Dudley, you got Jerome, you got 12th Street, you got Euclid Street, and you got Forest Street, which is adjacent to College Middle School. I think it's middle school. And so, to me, as I stated previously, those needs priority because to the economic and development of our city relies on us just as important as our school system, just as much as our business too. So, and that's about what I have to say about this issue. Thank you. Anyone have any questions? And I'm probably going to mostly repeat the same thing come Monday night, because the 2 ordinances I have on the agenda, like I said, going to reflect those issues, and probably going to write out mostly the same thing what I have stated. And those ordinances, going to let this board kind of tell you, the public, where this money is going to be spent at, which you should know this before you really vote for this issue. And thank you.
Director Davis, let me let Director Davis, I think she wants, let the director say something if they want to speak first. And I'll get to you. Okay, thank you.
Well, we all know that there's several important ingredients that go into making up a successful city. We know that schools are important. If you looked at your newspaper today, you see how much of an advancement has been made in our school system just since 2007. Now, we're working on those problems, but Texarkana, Arkansas has a myriad of problems. We're trying to hack them off one at a time. I made this statement in our last board meeting that I have a lot of issues for my ward. I mean, oh my goodness, I couldn't even begin. But I think the people in my ward realize that in order to entice business, because let me tell you something, for the longest time, all we did was look at 2 horrible buildings out on I-30. Vacated buildings. They're still there. I'm hoping that if I had my way, I'd be out there with a sledgehammer taking them down. But we're beginning to make progress there. Now, when someone comes into our city, they're going to travel the main routes. I have been in an apartment complex business, and one of the things that I stressed was, when people come into my property, I want it to be clean. I want it to be I want the driveways to be well maintained, because that's the first impression that people get. Do I want to put my dollars here? Do I want to invest here? We know that people want to invest where it is attractive. I'm looking forward to some development out here off of I-49 as it comes in. That's going to be in my ward. I'm going to be jumping up and down when it gets time. I want to be able to drive to Walmart without having to go the next week for a wheel alignment. I want to travel County Avenue. County Avenue is not in my ward. But you know something? I get calls, and I'm sure the rest of the board members do as well. I get calls from everybody from any ward. Can you help me? I got one from Reverend Williams' ward, Judith Anderson. I hope she caught you. We all get calls from other wards. We're one city, people. We can either die separately, or we can work together and build something that really and truly is going to give us impetus into a developing community. Just as our mayor said, look at what all we have. A college, people. Our schools are improving. Everything is looking good. We're beginning to grow. We don't want to put the stops on it just because I would love to go out on Union Road and I would love to give them a better street. I would. There are places that there are some bridges in my ward that are dangerous to travel over. I'm still after that. But there are not that many people who travel that way. They know it's dangerous, so they go around. They go up to Miller and go down to Lyon Avenue. Whatever we have to do, because let me tell you how it works. When people see that we look good and we're keeping our streets clean and we're tearing down old dilapidated buildings, businesses are going to locate here. We get the sales tax. Guess where the sales tax goes? Into the coffers, a lot of public works. If you saw poor Paul's budget, you would not believe it. Sometimes I feel like going home and praying for him. And I feel guilty when I have to say, Paul, there's a hole, by the way there is, on Country Club Road, right in the middle, so we can dodge it. It's not big, but get Gary Jeans on him. I feel guilty. I know he has limited resources, but this is one way that nobody is going to feel any additional pain. And if you want to talk about pain, this is almost ugly. My taxes on my house are 4 times less than my son pays in Texas. 4 times less. If you don't believe people are coming over here to live, start counting housetops. All I'm saying is I hope you vote to pass this. I would love to have some of it. But wherever it goes into my city. And it goes into your city. And this is going to bring some development, I can assure you. I hope you'll vote for it, and I hope you'll talk to your neighbors about it.
We have any more board members that would like to speak? At this time, Mike, you want to come up? We'll give everybody a chance. I don't like to hog. My wife tells me I hog the microphone all the time.
I've had people talk to me about what are we going to use the money on and stuff like that, and I've tried to assure everybody to go strictly to the roads like Mayor Smith has told us. They've even said, well, we're just not sure, we want to make sure. I've talked to a couple of board members, and we don't have a problem passing a resolution that all the money will go directly to street repair. If that'll help get this thing passed, we're willing to do it. You know, if y'all want that, please let us know and we'll get it done. Like Ruth said, we really need to do this for the entire city. This is a project that there are places, I don't even know all the streets in here. I've looked at it, but the 114, 115 streets, there's too many to look over, and I can't remember the priorities on them exactly. But the major streets that people drive on every day are the streets that need to be fixed first. You know, and as we get more money, you know, hopefully we're going to get some grant money and stuff in the future. You never know, but you can't count on it. We have to do this to get a start. And a lot of things happen when you first get a start. It's like a ball rolling downhill. I think if we get this start going, there'll be other things that come along. We'll increase the businesses, we'll increase the taxes coming in, and then we'll have more money to spend to fix more roads and stuff. But this is the catalyst we need to get us going. And whatever it takes to convince people that we are absolutely going to spend this 100% on streets, we as a board, I think, are willing to do and commit ourselves. We're committing ourselves to you, but we're willing, whatever you need for us to prove to you, we're willing to give you that, I think.
Appreciate it. I'd like to, well, let me make sure any other board members. Robert? You know, I want to clarify this here. This is a document that we requested to give us an idea of where we're at. And that's what that is. This is a starting point. Okay, when we get ready, just because this may be number one priority that CBO determined, it may not be our priority. Okay, and that's where it's very important for us, the citizens, to know that, and that we're going to sit down and we're going to cuss and discuss and have robust discussions about where to do this, because it's our responsibility. And once we do that, then we will let you know where it's at. And I know that, and I've heard several people ask me and say, you know, well, why don't you tell us which streets? Well, number one, we don't know how much money we got. Number two, if we give you the streets and use it now, of those figures, when we get the money, it may all change. What we want to do is, once we know how much money we got, then we determine what we've got, and we'll have a priority. And that priority may include streets that's not going to get repaired under this money. Yes?
You people who are here, I see your faces at our meetings. I tell you what we can do, and I believe our mayor will agree to this. If this passes, we'll discuss with you where it's going to happen, when it's happening, and if necessary, I imagine Paul would have some pictures, and it would be something, we don't want to hide anything.
I can, let me echo that. You know, I'm very fortunate. I represent the entire city. Okay? So I consider it fortunate. I get to represent the entire city. So I'm going to be fighting and making sure that every ward, every area that needs to be repaired will get repaired. Now, do I expect the ward directors to fight for their area? If they don't, I'm going to question where they're coming from. Okay, and I think they will. I mean, I do have confidence that they will, and because we do, you know, we're representing government, we represent our citizens, and each ward's going to represent theirs, but you know what? Director Davis said the main thing. We have to look out for the city. What's best for the city. And that's what ultimately our job is. You got mine?
Well, we talked about this too. People say, you know, why don't you get a complete list of what you're going to do? And the bonding company recommended we did not do that because this is going to be a 3 or 4 year plan to get it going. What is our number one priority this year may change as a street gets a lot worse or something. So we may have to jockey those things back and forth. There's a reason you don't want to be exactly specific on what you're going to do. So that was their justification for that.
Yes, I agree. I think Reverend Williams had something to say.
I guess basically, how many, just those two items are going to be on this ballot?
That's the only two items, yes, sir.
Okay. It's going to be like sort of like a yes or no, because sometimes
for or against? And one of the items going to be is that, are you for or against the authorizing the city to refinance the, and I'm not sure the name of the bond, the type it is, to refinance that bond, and I think it's $1.1 million will be refinanced. That's either for or against.
Okay.
And then the second part is that will you authorize that the money that is acquired from this refinancing of that bond to be utilized for the street and road construction or repairs for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas? And that's where I said, they put it in there, pretty well ties us to where, that's all we need to use it for.
I guess my particular question I ask is because sometimes when they draw up these ballots, you know, you can say for, that means against, and then they can put on there against, it means for. So we just didn't want no hanky-panky.
No, I'm telling you, it is for. I want you to vote for both issues. If you don't vote for both of them, it's not going to happen. Okay? You got to vote for both of them, and it's for. You either for it or you oppose it.
Another question is, in the past, board members had whatever ward they were involved with, they had meetings and allowed the citizens to come and say what they feel that, so far as priority is concerned.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean that every one of them is going to be addressed, but by the same token, they have their input in there, and then when the board gets together, they can check all the wards and see what each ward deemed as first priority.
No, I agree with you, and I think we talked about that, and I encourage, you know, we're also going to have some more town hall meetings, and I would request, and I've requested to the each ward director to have them in your ward, and where you can talk to your ward members, and I will be there. If I'm not somewhere else, I've got a prior commitment, you let me know. I promise you I will be there supporting you in your discussion. And yes, Reverend Williams, once we get this approved, then we need to go back and, once again, let's talk to the citizens. They need to tell us what's their priority. And we take that, and then when we sit down as a board, we've got to take into consideration what the citizens want and look at what's good and best for the entire city. And then we've got to make that hard decision of where we're going to allocate those funds.
The way I can commit now, I'm totally wholeheartedly behind this issue.
Okay, appreciate
I
it.
know it's not going to raise anybody's taxes, I know that.
Yeah, and it will not raise taxes. I cannot overemphasize that. Then no one, as a result of this initiative, will see additional taxes on their tax bill. They're paying a $2.5 million now. They will continue to pay a $2.5 million but these funds, that $2.5 million, will be allocated 100% to the road and street repairs and the drainage that goes with that, construction that goes with whatever that's directly contributed to that. I don't, Ms. Potts, you don't have anything now?
They answered it.
Okay. Yes, sir.
How long, or will there be any inflation after this is approved, if it's approved? As you said earlier, that